So it's February 9th, it's 25 to 7. I was called in at 5 o'clock to go out and do a little plowing. It's snowed all day, just a light snow, but it's just one of those ones you can never get ahead of it, so the guys were out plowing all day, and it's still, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches on the road maybe, at least out here. It hasn't looked like out here in a while, but yeah, the salt doesn't seem to be working that great. The temperature dropped down, so I shut my brine off. Hopefully on my way back in I'll see the salt working. Just seems like snow just got packed to the road and froze today, and now it's not peeling off. It's almost shining up the road. There's a few spots there I looked in where I plowed, and it's kind of glossy, so hopefully the salt will work a little better now that the brine's off and temperature's a little cooler. Pretty quiet weekend. I was home all weekend. I think Thursday or Friday night we were out for a bit, but I guess it was Thursday night, so had the weekend off, which is always nice. Kind of cold to be outside doing anything. Windy there yesterday, so it's kind of sat around the house and chilled out.
Gotta get out of the truck. 365. I got a car off the road here. Give me a shout in a minute.
Be careful getting out, John.
Pretty cold right now. It's minus 10 or 11, and it's light, fluffy, dry snow, so I'm just going to leave my wipers off, and I think the snow is just going to blow right by. It's not that wet snow that builds up and sticks your wipers in the windshield. I actually got a set of winter wiper blades put on before I left, so it took me a little longer to get out on the road. The gardener was fighting with the blades building up all day, I guess, so try these new winter blades, see if they work out a little better. Anything be an improvement from those other old summer blades that were on it.
Back in the truck.
You get up?
It's nice to see the days getting a little longer now. It's 6 o'clock before I got on the road, and it was still a little bit light out, so I guess someone was saying this month we gained, I don't know, was he saying hours, daylight this month or something like that, so that'd be nice to see. Bridge getting a little rough there too. a little bit in the middle of the parking lot. It's no good. Don't think it's going to snow much more. Might as well clean the parking lot now. It's done. Another swipe should do it. See how my wing's wearing. Yeah, looks like it's pretty good. Seems like the salt's working out here or something. Give it another scrape and maybe that will do it, maybe not. Kind of chilly. I think I'll get back in the truck and have a biscuit and a coffee and head back to the city. Watch that pasture side. It's
2690 back in the truck.
It's getting a little bit of snow off the wing. I'm not getting any on this side. I gotta keep an eye on it so I don't block the camera view.
Ross, how much brine did you use?
2290. 2290.
Peter?
2 other guys driving plow trucks up there every time when you find the salt is not working very good. Seems to be doing that a lot this winter for some reason. I don't know if it's a lower grade of salt or if it just gets wet, it loses its strength maybe. I don't know. It just seems to be getting into a lot of damp salt. And it just doesn't seem to be working as good as it should be. I'm just wondering if it's a quality thing, salt quality, or if it's just the temperature, or why it's doing that. Let me know if you ever had some bad salt. I don't know if they test it or not. I think it should be tested like everything else. Make sure you're getting what you pay for, because if you just put it on the road and it's not working, then you just throw money away. The road seems to be scraping off a little better now anyway. I'm seeing more black as I'm coming back where I just plowed on the way out. So salt works, so make it that much better, but it's, I don't know, it's minus 11 right now, so I think it's going to drop down minus 15. That's what it was the last few nights, so we'll see what happens. I think it works.
Brooks, 679.
Go ahead, Jeff. 20,500.
nice night for plowing anyway. It's easy to see and no traffic around as usual. Hopefully one round we'll clean it up for the night and the sun come out tomorrow and finish the job for us. I don't think scraping it twice after the snow's done is going to do it cleaned off any better, because it looks pretty good right now. I can see the pavement showing through. First came out, didn't seem like it was doing anything, but maybe it was more salt in the road out here. Snowmobile crossing right back there. I haven't seen a sled go across it all winter. There might have been one go across that one. Not enough snow to go snowmobiling around here, I guess.
374 in the scale, so we're
Right here on the bus there. Okay, who is it again?
374.
374, so we're
That's the truck that does the Trans-Canada Highway. He goes. Oh, bad bump. He goes through a lot more salt than the rest of us. He's got three lanes wide.
yeah, it's 406.
On a double
The
highway.
plate on that vehicle is the gold key is Sportage, I think. But yeah, it's right in the lane, no one's in it, so.
I understand why people abandon their cars in the road.
It's on the tractor there. If they were coming from the dump, it's on the right hand side of the road, right before Lands and Shares.
Somebody would just leave their car right in the road in the middle of a storm, but I wouldn't even call this a storm. It
You're good.
just snowed all day. It wasn't a storm, and it just kept falling and coming slow. I think
I had known if it's a residential area, would have asked you for a civic.
only 3 or 4 centimeters. I think came down all day, but
No man,
took all
no
day to
Civics
do it.
around there, and I'm gonna say someone was in it sleeping, Jack, because I just pulled away and they fired it up, and now they're on their way.
Here they're scared to drive
Well,
until
I'm
the
not gonna call the
plow truck went by.
until when it's gone.
Oh.
No, they just started pulling away, literally just as I said the last words to you. Likely drunk. I was thinking that or parking, one of the two.
I think a better place to go park it than on the main highway.
I'd call them anyway. Maybe they're the homeless. Nowhere to live.
Maybe they couldn't get down by the river.
Side of the 100 series highway, not to be sleeping though.
Never know what you're gonna run into out here in the road.
You knock it till you try it, Sam. I just don't think it's somewhere I'd want to park in the middle of a snowstorm.
Sure you would. I think this run here, we should do it for the night. I don't think I'll have to come back out. There's a little bit of snow that's left on the road. I can't scrape it off anymore, so the salt will have to do the rest. And I'll probably not work until the morning when the sun gets on it. It's down to minus 12 now, so it's, temperature keeps dropping, so hopefully it'll get cleaned off enough that it's not too slippery. When the new girls out training tonight.
Can you tell me my weight there today? 24,180. Thank you. Right there?
Yeah, she went to snow school this winter, and now she's dispatching for us, but she just went out for going out for a few runs when she can, just so she can get tested and probably get a seat plowing next winter. I think she'll make a good plow operator myself.
Clown's Brook, 679.
Right there.
Tobacco salt 27.9.
Thank you. Be careful.
Thanks, Chad. We're in the air now. We're in the air now. Is this supposed to last long, or what does it look like?
The radar showed the clouds all
Well, they just told me we had
blown over by 5
stars
o'clock.
and the moon.
Stars and moon. I seen some stars when there's a
Just checking.
turn spot there, but
Last I checked, Paul, it was supposed to be done at 8.
8. My forecast said 4. Well, it showed the radar. The clouds are all done at 4.
Snowing pretty good over here, 3 trucks.
keep it over there. Three Brooks needs it.
Snowing pretty good at the now. Don't look like it did anything.
Yeah, could turn into a long night after all.
Same here in the west end is 376. Same here on the connector.
It's the same everywhere, it sounds good.
Stop, boys, you're making me too cheery. Me up too much.
Me either.
I should have been surprised with it.
What was that tonight?
I have it on here that it's supposed to slow down, but it's going to start snowing again at 12 o'clock until 5 in the morning.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
How come
Home by then.
every forecast is different?
Reason caused by the stratocumulus cloud clusters coming in from the western hemisphere causing intermittent snow flurries.
Hey, bud.
Sounds about right.
There's the jogger out shoveling his driveway. Let's hope for an early night. Yeah, I'd rather a big snowstorm than all these little ones we've been having. You gotta do just as much work. It just doesn't seem like you're getting anything done.
There's little clusters coming over at different times here. It's not amounting to much, but it just keeps coming.
Nuisance snow is what I call it. It's a nuisance.
Johnny from Evan.
We're very lucky one of these Newfoundland.
Newfoundland getting hit, is it? They usually get a lot of snow over there in Newfoundland. Maybe they'll send some over to us. I'm sure they wouldn't miss it.
Why is they getting all the fun in that?
Because they do have a sense of humor.
No, it's because they win the lottery all the time over there.
And I often say that too, and in fact there were 3 times this past weekend they did.
Here, I'll move to Newfoundland and win the lottery. lights, they almost look like fog lights nowadays. After seeing all the new cars with the LED lights. Yeah, if it had more snow, it would be a lot quieter and smoother when you're plowing. And the weight built up against the blade, quiet it down, smooth it out.
Back on the scale.
I wish I was more of a story.
25,
Wish I was more of a storyteller. I'd keep you guys entertained with these long drives, but I'm the strong, quiet type, I guess. I don't say much, so. Got a few friends I should take along for a drive. They could tell you some stories and make you laugh. Some people got a knack for it. I'm not one of them people. See the other lane there where I come out, it's scraping between the tire tracks because the road's a little higher there. It's leaving the snow right where you travel, so. Be nice to see the salt melted a little better. I think I'll head back in town and top up the salt again. And I'll hit my side roads and hopefully that snow will stop in the meantime. salt's working good where I blasted on the road. This intersection good. It's a blind intersection. You gotta keep lots of salt down. In case somebody pulls out in front of somebody, give a better chance of stopping when it's not slippery. Section of road starting to get in pretty bad shape too. It's all starting to sink in on the right hand side. Yeah, salt seems to be working a little better now with where the brine shut off, but just goes through it a little quicker, that's all. And normally I can do a whole route with a load, but I never get it all done. When I shut the brine off, I'd have to make 2 trips. I think I'd shut it off, get a good layer on the main roads, and might turn it back on when I'm on the side roads just to save some salt. See up here, I left, I had the brine turned on, I shut it off when I was on my way out here, so if I see a difference in the road, I know it's working better or not working as good. Road temperature's -8 tonight. The air is still -11. Section getting pretty rough too. Just slowing down because I got it on blast, so I just want to get a little more salt in these turns. quiet night. Sunday night, I guess everyone's home resting up, getting ready for another busy week at work. I'm on night shift this week, and I don't think any more snow comes till Thursday, so I'm hoping to get out in the woods and cut a few trees and maybe burn some brush, clean up some of the stuff that got blown down in the big hurricane 2 years ago. I have 40 acres, so there's quite a few trees down all over the property in different spots. Been picking at it the last couple of years, trying to clean it up. A lot of work. A lot of damage done in the area. You really see in the winter drive around, you just look in the woods, no leaves, you can see right in the woods, and there's trees laying everywhere all over the place. It's pretty bad. Just hope we don't get another one like that anytime soon. Did a lot of damage to houses and roofs and all kinds of stuff. Now with all that dead trees in the woods, it's just a big fire rot laying around drying up, and never went on fire. Take right off. won't let up. Just coming just fast enough to keep the roads white. Seems like the theme of things this winter is just not a lot of snow, but just continuous. They were saying in the shed there when I was in there a few minutes ago that there's supposed to be a whole bunch of snow coming on next Sunday, I think. It'll be 25 centimeters, which probably 70, or probably that'd be 25 centimeters, maybe 10 inches maybe. I'd rather be out plowing that than plowing this little stuff.
$51 to $84, you there, Dave? Go ahead. You want me to make another run on the 245, or you be down this way?
There's enough salt to do it, yeah, sure. No, I'm just glad the shed I just didn't like it. I'm going to go and have a lunch. It's probably going to have to run that number 4 again.
Yeah, it's going pretty good down here by the fire.
We'll be chasing the snowflakes all night tonight.
Yeah, they sure do, but I think it's going to be an all-nighter.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Should have known better than to listen to the forecast.
Just think all the money we're making.
Would have brought a bigger lunch. Figured we'd be home early tonight, so I didn't bother.
You know, it's just getting hard to find spots to spend it.
It's getting windy up here, starting to get some drifts.
Marry my wife.
Long's pretty good, too.
Only 7 more weeks of winter works. At the end of March, she's all over. We're gonna get the most snow we're gonna get this winter in the next month or so. No traffic on this road in a while. There's not a tire track anywhere. I don't get a whole lot of traffic on my roads at night. Further from down I go, the less traffic I get. It's kind of a shame plowing the roads. I'm the only one driving on them. But you gotta keep them open in case the fire or ambulance has gotta get it through. few deer tracks out here. Something you never see when you get further out in the woods. Not very often anyways. All the deer move to town. More people to feed them, I guess. I don't think as many people hunt today as they did back in the 70s and 80s. Seemed like a lot of people hunted back then, but then they come out with all these regulations, and I think a lot of people just couldn't be bothered, myself included. I don't like hurting animals anyways. I shot one deer years ago and I always felt bad about it, so I gave up hunting deer. Some people say that coyotes, they got so heavy out in the woods that all the deer came in towards town because they feel a little safer in and around the home, as the coyotes don't come around as much in town. Although you do see one at the odd time. Not very often, but it does happen from time to time. Just be nice plowing now. It was like a foot of snow down, all fresh and no tire tracks. That's when I like pushing. Somebody would tell me, "Oh, you're lucky we didn't get much snow this year." Yeah, but I'm still out just as much as we did get a lot of snow, and it'd be more fun if it was more snow. I think most of the guys plowing would agree with that. I like to tuck everything over to the right here before the crossing, instead of building it up in that intersection. I usually stop, get out and stretch here. It's a good, quiet spot. No one to bother you. Getting hungry. I think I'll have a little snack and a coffee. Stop here and have a little snack. Little for a stretch. No big rush to get these roads clear tonight. It's Sunday night and everybody's home watching the Super Bowl, I think. If that's what they're into, but not a lot of traffic, so no use rushing. It's just coming down fast enough. It's going to cover the roads again, so we might as well take our time, wait till it to stop, and then we'll clean it up before we go home. That's what I think, anyways. Back at her.
Thank you, Rach. Drive careful there.
Thank you.
A couple inches on the road. It looks like those tires wrecked. So I heard one of the other guys on the radio earlier, he's saying his made turn, his plow was flopping, going left and right. He has a two-way angle plow in his truck. He does the highway. He's asking one of the other fellas what he thought was the problem. They thought it might have been a valve for the controls in the plow or a broken hose, and he got out and looked at it, and I was thinking maybe one of the pins that hold your plow on came out, because that happened to me about 15 years ago. One of the pins that hold, two pins that hold your plow on where it hinges, they made a left-hand turn, the plow stayed straight. Snapped the pin off and broke the tab. You know, the pin was already fell out, I guess. It just broke the tab off because only one pin was holding it. Just when it made the turn, it just like a big lever just snapped it right off. So
Collins from 5175.
I was going to mention that to him, but he said he got out and checked for hydraulic leaks and stuff and didn't see anything. And I figured he would have seen it when he was out, but
Weighing back in Jeanette,
it must have been
5,800 even.
lined up with it.
Exactly know how you're supposed to slow and stop.
Plow must have been lined up with the truck then and didn't notice it until he got back in the garage in the daylight. So.
Yep, I believe that's the higher up.
And four, thank you.
But yeah, that can happen to anybody. That's what I always look for, stuff like that. I get out and walk around when I stop and look for any pins coming loose or anything dripping or hanging. It's just good practice every time you get out there. Take a good look at things. I learned that the hard way when I first started trucking back in 1983. I had no experience, and my father taught me to drive, but he drove trucks in the 40s, and he just happened to have a Class 1 license, but he hadn't driven trucks for 30 years or more, and he took me out and taught me how to drive, and yeah, he wasn't familiar with trucks like the modern trucks back then. Like the old trucks he would run were back in the 40s, so not even close to being the same. So he came with me and showed me how to drive it, and I learned to drive and practiced that weekend. I went to work for the Truckers Association that following Monday and started my trucking career. Before I even had my license, I had to take my father with me just because he was a licensed driver and you needed someone licensed with you back then. Well, I guess you still do now when you're learning, but yeah, he came with me, and I was getting paid 25% of what the old truck was making. So I learned a lot of things the hard way. I was just green at it, didn't know anything, and I'd get to the job, and some of the other truckers look at your truck and say, "Yeah, you got 2 flat tires," or something like that. I just never knew any better. I just jumped in the truck in the morning and away I go. One morning I jumped in the truck and I pulled out and I cut the wheels and I felt a bump. So I stopped, I got out and looked, and my neighbor had a brand new Z28, and someone parked in his spot, so he pulled in tight beside the truck. We lived next door to him. And when I pulled out, I bumped his quarter panel in his new car, and then I learned after that, well, before you get in the truck in the morning, you walk around it and you check your tires before you go to work. I used to show up to work with flat tires when I first started trucking, and the old truck was pretty rough shape. So I learned a lot of things the hard way, but you don't forget when you learn the hard way. And I've been trucking ever since. Well, trucking and operating equipment, a little bit of everything. When I did start trucking, a friend of my father's had an old dump truck, an old Louisville dump truck. It had a little cat engine and a 5-speed Ruxel, a trail and axle dump truck. And he didn't have anyone to drive it. The guy he had drive and quit because the truck was always breaking down. So he asked my father one day if he wanted to drive it. My father was probably 50 years old and he wasn't interested. So he asked me. At the time I was in the woods cutting pulp for another guy. It was just after I graduated vocational school, and my father asked me, "Do you want to drive a truck?" And I always loved driving anything with wheels, but I never ever thought about driving a truck before. And I said, "Yeah." So he took it home that weekend and took me out some back roads and showed me how to use the Ruxel and shift it, and taught me the basics. And the following Monday I was going to work and getting 25% of what the truck made. But the old truck was always breaking down, flat tires, and I'd always run up to see my boss and ask how to fix things, and he used to run the bakery. He'd have to come out of the bakery and show me how to do things and how to fix things. And finally one day he said, "If you need parts, just go to the dealership or the truck supply place, and anything you need, just get it." So if something would break, I'd go get the part and I'd fix it. I was right out of auto mechanics from vocational school, so I was full of shit and vinegar. And yeah, if something would break, I'd fix it, and then it would work. It wouldn't be breaking every second day. And then one day I blew a tire away probably 50 miles from home, all in asphalt, and I blew a tire, and I stopped, started jacking it up, and I went around to shut the truck off, and the other tire beside it blew up. So I had to bum a drive from someone to the nearest farmhouse in the area, and I called my boss and told him, and a few hours later my father showed up in his old 77 Le Mans car with 2 truck tires sticking out of the trunk. He went out and bought 10 brand new Michelin tubeless tires and rims. And we put them on the old truck and never had another flat after that. The old truck started making money. So the next year he upgraded, got a little better dump truck, a lot better shape, and I drove that for a number of years. And then he started, it worked for 2 years, I think. Then he started making some money with the truck, so he bought a tractor trailer that he's gonna use it for hauling flour to his bakery. And plus, he got a contract to deliver some flour along the way. So I learned to drive a tractor trailer. I guess I was 23 at the time. And on Thursday, we'd drive the old tractor trailer to Halifax and load up with flour. And then I'd make the drops along the way coming home. And then come to the bakery. And I'd park the truck on Thursday. They would unload the flour to the bakery. And then Friday, I'd head for Cape Breton. And drop off the rest of the flour at different places. But I never liked doing that. I wasn't much of a fan for that kind of work, for tractor trailer. I like the dump truck work, doing that kind of stuff. So the old truck he bought was a cab over Titan with a 318 Detroit. And it was just gutless. It's a big heavy trailer. We went to Cape Breton. You were doing a lot of stick hand with that gear shift, shifting gears, because it's pretty hilly. You didn't have much power. You'd be screaming down one hill and crawling up the next. And one day I just told him I didn't want to drive the tractor trailer anymore, so he said that's fine. And the next year he sold the dump truck. I think he was so gagged I wouldn't drive the tractor trailer. I was stubborn. I don't like something, I wouldn't do it. I was always that way, but it didn't take long. I got a phone call. Somebody else called me up and offered me a job, so I've always had work ever since then. It's just once I learned to drive and got good at it, then I'd never been without a job. If I got laid off, somebody would call and offer you a job. So I did that for quite a few years. Oh, my new wipers are getting built up on the other side there.
On back to the truck. Thank you, there.
The only tractor trailer work I ever liked doing was belly dumping, because it was just like dump trucking, and you didn't have to sit around waiting to unload or that old flour and unload that flour, carrying off 80-pound bags of flour. Well, it's not a lot of fun because you get all hot and sweaty, and then the flour would be dripping up out of the bag and down your back and making dough balls down your back. It was kind of dirty work. But I like the belly dump because you just drive up and flick a button and you don't even have to stop. You just stop at your ticket sign and away you go for another load. But as far as hauling cargo or stuff like that, no interest in it. Driven a lot of trucks over the years for a lot of different people. Never made any great money, but always had work. Now I just do this snow plowing in the winter, and I got my own little dump truck, and I got a 5-ton excavator and a rubber track skid steer, and I just play around with that. I've been doing it now for, when 08 I started, so it's been on 17 years. And I don't make a lot of money, but it pays the bills and makes me happy, and that's all I want to do. I don't think I'll be laying on my deathbed wishing I worked more than I did. Money's not everything. It's quality of life means more than money. So if you stick around this summer, you get an idea of what I do in the summer.
What times that was zone 11, that stuff went in, just then?
Just the one time that I went out and it was solved, yeah.
Sure, thank you.
I love this 2-speed transmission in reverse. Makes seeing an intersection a lot quicker. You know what that was? I thought it was a deer or something up there shoveling. Big wave. Not mad I put snow in this driveway. I guess there's not a lot anyways, but most people are good. I never had anyone get mad at me for filling in the driveway. Got a few dirty looks, but no one shook their fist or threw their shovel, so that's a good thing. Tomorrow's garbage days. I'll have to be careful not to knock over any green bins or hit any garbage cans or bags. Yeah, I'm just going to take my time tonight. There's no traffic and it just seems like there's no use for hurrying to clean the roads because you're just going to have to go up and do them again in a couple of hours anyway, so should almost park the truck and wait for the snow to stop because there's not enough not enough snow on the road to slow anyone down, and when you scrape it off it's still slippery because it's all just not doing its job tonight. No traffic either. That makes a difference when it's all working. So, well, just plow her off and sprinkle it around, and tomorrow when the sun comes out it should peel right off. It's all start working when it warms up a little bit. Looking at an old video, my first snowplow video I put up back when February 2009 when I was going through snow school. We had a little truck rodeo in the yard, just first time. We had 2 weeks of classroom, and then that was the first time we got to try the trucks out. They just drive around the yard, learn the use to pick the wing up and drop the wing and get a feel for the size of the truck. Looking back, we were pretty poor drivers back then when we were learning. Just trying to learn to control that wing was the hardest part. Learn to put it down without putting your nose down first and pitch bowling it. But yeah, that's. I didn't realize how long I was doing these snowplow videos, but I've had it for 15 or 16 years now. Some of them are pretty crude compared to the newer ones, but I'm still learning. Just trying to get over my shyness and do a little more talking. People seem to watch longer if they can listen to a story. So, like I say, I'm not a great storyteller, but I'm trying. I just do this because I enjoy it. I always loved photography and working with pictures. When I was a kid, I was always asking about cars when I was a little kid. He would tell me about his first car he drove, the first one he owned, and that. And I remember one day he said to me, I wish I took pictures of them, I could show you all these cars. And I always remember that. So ever since then, any car or dump truck or anything I ever drove, I always took pictures of them. And then when videos come along, I was watching the news one day and there's talk about this YouTube on the news, saying how you can post your own videos. And I was thinking, geez, I must have a video of something. When I got looking around, actually there's a strip mine in my hometown that has been going for the last 30 years. They're just in the final end of the project now. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. I took my nephew up there one day to show him the heavy gear, and there was a D11 sitting there, or a D10 I guess it was then back then. And just as we got there, he started up and did a push, so I videotaped it. He went by, it was a great big blade full of dirt.
With 3 buckets of salt and full of brine.
And so that was my first video I put on YouTube. And it's back then, that was, I don't know, what, 2007? There wasn't a lot of... Oh shit, what did they do here?
Huh?
There wasn't a lot of
Just checking to see if it was you. I couldn't understand your radio. 52?
videos on D11s. Or big dozers. There wasn't a lot of videos, a lot of things on YouTube back then. So I put that video up, and I don't know, within a year I had 1 million hits on it, and that's when I heard that you could monetize them. I applied for be monetized. I applied to get monetized, and they turned me down. And then when that video hit 1 million hits, they sent me a notice saying I could monetize that video, and then eventually they added another one, then they made me a full partner. So now I can monetize any video I put up now. Oh, shit, I lost one of my buttons. I'll have to program it again. Yeah, so that's how I got started in YouTube. And it was a lot like photography. It's just moving pictures, so it's right up my alley. I'm gonna clean this intersection up.
Good to see you doing that, Go ahead. And then the last line, I got to go in at 1656. 1656. And did you come in for this load, like the load that you're picking up now?
So distracted, trying to tell a story, and people talking and working this intersection. So my battery died when I was doing that intersection, so I figured I'd clean it up, stop talking till I got it done. Now I put a fresh battery in, and I'm good to go again.
I just got them runs. I'll see if we have to
Okay, thanks, Bill.
I guess we were talking about my YouTube channel, how I started out.
this round anyway.
So my early years after getting monetized, I only lived a few blocks away from the strip mine at the edge of town, coal mine. So I started recording some videos from up around the coal mine of the heavy equipment, the big giant excavators and the 100-ton trucks and dozers and whatever. And that became real popular, and that was what made me the most money for the longest time. And then, I don't know, it's probably 10 years ago, I guess, because they got closer to town, they put a berm around the strip mine so you couldn't get in close enough to get any videos of the work going on. So I lost a lot of my viewers because I wasn't putting out the strip mine videos as much. Just couldn't get them. So in the winter, when I started plowing, I started doing some snowplow videos, and they seemed to take off. And I did pretty good with them over the winters, but it's only a short season for snowplow videos. By the end of this month, people don't want to see snowplow videos anymore. It seems traffic dies way down, and everybody's waiting for summer. They don't want to see snow anymore, so it's a very short season. So I thought I'd try something different this year, and I got this new camera, and it has the little mic to go with it, and the remote control. So I thought maybe I'll just show some raw video and try to do some talk and see if that interests anybody. So yeah, I'm not looking to get rich. Ow. I made some money over the years at this, but most of the money I made, I reinvested. That's where I got all my GoPros I bought over the years, and a couple of computers, and 3 different drones. I just put a lot back into it, but it's just a hobby. I enjoy doing it, and I always enjoyed photographs because I always like looking back at what it looked like in the old days, how things were done. I always wish that there was a time machine I'd go back and see this stuff. So nowadays, like, I always took pictures just for memories, and now with the video, it's even in sharing more memories because it's, you know, moving pictures. And I figure someday it'd be nice to look back at the way we plow the roads now, you know, another 30 or 40 years, we're probably saying, wow, that's pretty antique looking. Even looking at that video when I started there last night, one of the first trips I did in a snow plow, I was riding shotgun because I was just training. And that's, you know, those old Sterlings we had back then that's all department head, mostly Sterlings. I think they had a couple internationals, but yeah, those trucks look pretty antique compared to nowadays. But it's always nice to look back at it. It's, you know, it's just another chapter of my life in Pictou County. I get a lot of positive comments on these videos too, like people appreciate them. You know, that gives them an idea of what we go through out here on the road, and they even use some of my videos for training purposes. They put on these snow schools, I guess. Get all these young fellas that went through snow school come up and say, "No, you're the guy that does videos." So I'm not looking to, I don't want to be famous. I'd like to just keep a low profile, but I'm just doing this for fun.
189 at 008, Billy.
We got, I think, 5 different YouTube channels, just different ones. This channel here was the second channel I had. The first one first one's just when I started before I had a machine, and then when I bought the machine, I bought my first skid steer back in '07. I figured I'd do some videos showing what you can do with these little rubber track skid steers, because there was none around here at the time, and they were pretty able little rigs. Now they're all over the place now, but back in '07 wasn't a whole lot of them around. Or '08 I guess when I bought the skid steer. Yeah, so I started this channel and kind of started putting all my videos on that. I still have the original channel, it's just JimHow, I think, mining pictures and some of the earlier mine videos when I started out. So I got the JimHow, and then I got JimHowDigsDirt, and then we have another one for motorcycles, maritime bikers. I've got a RH1200 GS Adventure motorcycle, and me and the wife just travel around the Maritimes, just mostly day trips. So we just put up a channel, just kind of share some videos there, and just like a scrapbook for ourselves, for memories. Then we did another one just for fun times. We call it good times in the Maritimes, just when we go out on day trips, or just canoeing or kayaking or whatever. It's hard to get a following when you start a channel. It was easier back 15 years ago when there was less people doing it, but now there's so many people doing it, it's just harder to get established. I used to make pretty good money and get a lot of hits, and now it's hard to go now. You got to really work at it. I don't get the traffic I used to get. I probably got a quarter what I was getting there a couple of years ago. But yeah, I still get a check every month, so that's a good thing. It's not a lot, but it helps pay the bills, buys new toys, new cameras. My wife, she's never been around this stuff till we met 11 years ago, and now I got her hooked on videos. Like she does a lot of the write-up on the videos. I'm not very good at doing the write-up, so that's kind of what she does best, I guess. But yeah, she helps me edit my videos and make suggestions and critiques them, and I don't know, we've been getting better, and it's a lot of fun. When the snow's all gone, you guys will have to come check out some of my other channels, even this channel, when I get doing some excavating and a little trucking in the summer for myself, or doing jobs for other people. And if you're a biker, maybe you want to check out our bike channel too. It's not the best in the world, but I think this summer we'll improve it a lot. We got this microphone make it better for doing bike videos. At least now we can be able to do some talking when we drive down the road instead of just getting a bunch of wind noise. I think people are more apt to watch the video if you're talking. They say every video should have a story. It should have a start and a middle and an ending. And if you don't, then people watch a minute off your video and then they click away. You get bored, but you gotta keep them entertained and they'll stick around. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I would never speak in a video for the life of me for the longest time. And now I'm at that age, I don't care anymore what other people think. They would think it's funny, they laugh at me, big deal. It's none of my business what they think. Spend your whole life worrying about what other people think, and in the end it doesn't really matter. It's whatever you think, what makes you happy is what's important in life. At least I think it's that way. You do what makes you happy. I always done that, and maybe that's why I'm poor. I didn't work as hard as I should have, but I was happy. I have no regrets, anything I done. It's 20 after 10 now, and snow's still coming. I think they said after midnight it's supposed to stop and start up again in the morning. That wasn't in my forecast when I looked at my phone, but you look at 3 different channels for the weather forecast and they'll all be different, so I think they all work together so at least one of them get it right. This strip mine that was in Stullerton there, well, it's still there. This in the reclaiming part now. They're just filling the hole in. They started in the late 90s, and I got hired on. I worked for the same outfit. They had a strip mine in the neighboring town. I worked out there for 3 or 4 years, and then they had an underground coal mine start back in the 90s here, and it only ran a few years, ended up exploding and killed 26 miners. So the strip mine opened in Stullerton after that because they needed coal for the local power plant, and the underground mine was a write-off, so they started strip mining. And since I worked for the same company previously, they called me up and offered me a job, so I went to work there and worked there 3 or 4 years. It was fun while it lasted. I got a couple pictures of back then, but that was before I was in the videos. I'm just going to slow down so I can get a little more salt in this turn. pretty sharp turn here. And it's in the shade all day, so it's usually kind of icy, so I always like to blast the salt through it, make it a little safer for the locals. Good thing about working at night, you can see the traffic coming, you see the headlights, so it makes it a lot easier for cleaning up intersections and stuff like that. I always enjoy doing the cleanup after a storm, making everything, tucking everything in, making everything look nice. We'll go out winging back snowbanks. I don't think we're going to have to do it this year, and snowbanks aren't big enough to wing back, like the shelf anyways. This is a really wide intersection. I don't know why they make some of these intersections as wide as they do, because half the size would do the same job. You gotta be careful when you're tucking off the road like that. Sometimes you drop your wheel over the shoulder and you can't get traction. That happened to me when I first learned to plow. We come out of a road and I tucked it in, and the wheel dropped over the shoulder and got stuck right in a bad intersection. And so I had to put some salt in the road, get out and shovel it under the wheels. I just want to get this little piece off the road here. And so there. Yeah, you don't want to leave that little bit of snow sticking out in the road. People start driving over it and then it gets packed hard. Somebody will swerve to avoid it. There, I'll go do my other side roads, and then I'll start the rounds on my main roads again, I guess. Can't remember last time I met a car out here. Nice to see some traffic just to make it feel like I'm doing something useful. Doesn't even look like it was on this road. It's only gonna be 45 minutes ago, but she's all wait over again. Yeah, when I first started trucking, or plowing rather, back in 09 or 10, I think, 010, I think when I got a seat, I had a single axle plow truck. I had the only one in the county with single axle, international, and I was surprised it got around pretty good, considering a single axle. It never got stuck too much. I drove in a ditch one night and I was winging back, and somebody had already wung it back, and I went in too far and drove over the ditch, and down I went. That truck had on-spot chains on it. They were great. The only truck I ever drove with them on, with the little wheel at the back with chains hanging on it. You put it in gear, it puts the wheel against your tire, it spins the chains go underneath your tire for traction. They worked awesome. I loved them. It saved you getting out and having the chain up. I only had a single axle, and I had some pretty steep hills on my run, so when I turned up the hill, I'd hit the on spots and they'd throw the chain underneath the tire to get me up over the hill, and I'd flick it out when I get to the top. I actually used them so much I wore the chains out, they wouldn't even fit under the tires at the end. I had to replace all the chains on them. But they used to have them on all the trucks, but I guess they had problems with them. They get built up with snow and stuff, so most of them were taken off. But that single axle truck, that's the only one I ever seen that actually had them on that actually worked. But yeah, if I run my truck in the winter, I'd be putting them on, that's for sure. Sure, it beats getting out and putting chains on, and especially if you only need them for, get up over a hill or something. I think a lot of oil trucks and that might run them. If they don't, they should. Getting around filling people's oil tanks in the winter. Yeah, I worked in the other base there, 10 miles from home, and then I switched. I came up to McClellan's base back in 13, I think, or no, back in 12, I guess it was. I started here. I ran an old Sterling for a year, and then I went on one of their newer Volvos, and I ran that for a year, and then a couple of guys retired on the 6-wheel drive Western Star, so I asked if I could go on that truck, and that's on the route I'm on now. I've been doing this route. This is 11 years now. I've been down this route. So I run the Western Star for 5 years, and then they bought this truck. And they told me I wouldn't be running the Western Star. I got a new truck, and I said I don't want a new truck. I want the Western Star because I love that old truck. But they wanted me to take the new one, so I ended up taking it, and it's so much more comfortable and quiet and smooth, and a lot less fatigue at the end of a shift when you're driving this truck compared to that other old truck. So my wife told me if I ever went back to that other old truck, she'd divorce me, because I used to come home cranky, tired, and sore. And, it was quite a climb getting up and in and out of that truck all night. And plus you're shifting gears and running the spreader, or the salter, and the wing and the plow, and you're always quite busy. So my camera just shut off again. I ran out of storage in my SD card, but luckily this camera has 47 gigabytes of internal storage. So that's what I'm recording on now. Yeah, this truck here, we're talking with the Western Star, and I got this truck in 19, I think, so this is my 6th winter in this truck. And it's been a great truck. There's 146,000 kilometers on it now, and we had no major problems. The engine light's been on it for the last 2 years, but that's normal, I guess, for these trucks. But a few problems with this alder from time to time, nothing major. This one has an auger that earlier e-folks had a belt driving feeding the salt. They used to have problems with that. They still have some problems with it once in a while, but this is a different setup. It's got an auger feeding it, which gave me trouble there last week, but I think it was more because the salt was jamming up. It was all kind of crusty and stuff. But mechanically, this truck was great. I never even had a regen on me in all the years I drove it. You must be working hard enough at the regens on the road, I guess. That last year my truck got stuck there. It was on this road, and the wrecker come out to get me that night. The first night I was out there sitting in it, he couldn't get under that overpass, the train overpass there, so that's why I didn't get towed out that night. And then the next day he came out, and the side road was, he thought he was going to get through. It wasn't plowed, and yeah, it took a few days. It was just so much snow down, they couldn't get a road clear to the truck to get him in there. So the truck sat for 3 nights before they finally got it out. So I missed all the fun. I was all excited to get all that big snow and get out and plow. It's kind of a challenge. But I missed out most of it. I was out the first 2 nights, and the truck was in the ditch, and then they had me doing some other stuff once they got it out. So yeah, it was a little gag. They missed out on plowing the big stuff. That's when their old 6-wheel drive would have been fun. I think it was 9 years before that since we had that much snow, and I was running the 6-wheel drive with 3 storms back to back, and yeah, it was a lot of fun that time. Even after the storm, going out and opening up roads that were never opened, and winging back and cleaning up things. It either snow a lot or stop snowing. This slow snow, just you never get ahead of it. Just go, go, go. Always chasing it. Rather it all come in one big dump, and then stop, and then you can spend the next couple of days cleaning up, pushing back and shouldering and stuff. I think I could plow this road in my sleep. I did so many times. Whole route for that matter. one, there's more, so. Where's your buddies? I don't see any more. Anytime you see a deer, oh, there's the other one over to the left going up the bank. Little fella. Yeah, if you see a deer running in front of you, watch out, because if there's one, there's usually a bunch. Slow down with this. Well, I hit a deer there about probably 10 or 11 years now, I guess. I was driving the Volvo. I just left the shed. I was a couple of miles in the shed, and a deer come out from behind a tree in someone's driveway or a hedge, and all I seen is his head, and like go in front of me, like right in front of the plow. I just seen his head sticking up, and I hit him, and so I turned around. I went back. I was going laying on the road. I was going to push him off the road, and then all of a sudden his head popped up. But I think I broke his back or something. He was alive, but he wasn't. He couldn't move. It's just he could lift his head. He couldn't move, so I called it in. One of the other guys come down and looked after it. I was on my motorcycle there one time down the back country cruising along, and these deer come running up out of a field. One went in front of me, and then I went between the first guy and the second guy, and just another second either way, I would have hit one of them. But first one come out, I just missed it, and the second guy come out right behind him and almost run into me. So that was kind of lucky that time. I wouldn't want to be hitting deer with a motorcycle. Had some friends try that. It doesn't work out that good. And a few bear ran out in front of me on the motorcycle too, but no close calls. Last time there was a mother and two babies running across in front of me. And they stopped and went back, and then they turned around and come back out across the road again. Seems to be a lot of more bear around nowadays. See them more now than he ever did. I look like a white tornado going down the road, all that light fluffy snow blowing off. There's a blizzard behind me. Another bad bump. This culvert must be getting bad here.
Two 295 is coming. 295 is coming, bro. Back in with salt, 20920, 20920.
getting dry, it's starting to squeak. Guess I can shut them off. Sometimes there's not a lot of snow. I can get turned here and just without going down the hill, but doing some spinning there, but I think I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I gotta be careful. I did that one night, the 6-wheel drive, she spun, so I locked her up. And then all 6 wheels spun and she went sideways and almost landed in the ditch there. So I always try to have a load on when I come down this road. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I know what happened. I hit the wrong button. I put the wing on float and the arse went down first. Hit the wrong button. I wasn't looking. All right. Snow slowing down, or is it just because I'm behind a bunch of trees? I think she said midnight is supposed to let up, but then start again sometime through the night. But the morning shift will have to look after that if that happens. It'll probably be 3 o'clock in the morning before we get out of here anyways, if it did stop now. Culvert again. Those old metal culverts, they always end up collapsing. They rust out in the bottom, and then over time they just start falling apart. Need to be replaced. Good thing with the plastic, that once they're in there, they're pretty well good for life. So I've been on all my roads now, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna have to start all over again. I just wonder if I should head back out the county line or give it a little break. There's no traffic on the road anyways, and I could plow now and then end up going back out in 2 hours and doing it again, or we just wait and see what happens. seems like a waste just plowing and no traffic on the road, but you gotta keep them safe for emergency vehicles. Snow blowing off right here. It's a wide open field up top the hill. Just doesn't have a chance to settle. It just blows right off. Get some big drifts back there by times too. You come across that field and right in the field, you wouldn't see it the last minute, and boom, you hit the big drift, push straight over to the other side of the road. At least the first couple of times it did. Now I know it's when expected. Slow right down. I think maybe I'll run around my main roads in closer to town right now and just do the ones that get all the traffic. See if I can't get them loosened up and a little salt on them to scrape off in the morning when the traffic starts up again. I could run way out to the county line right now, but it's I just get out there and come back in. I wouldn't see a vehicle the whole time, so I think it's better off right now spending time closer to town where the traffic is. There's not a lot of it. Salter back on. We're back on the pavement.
Get over at 27,360. 27,360.
Thank you over there. Drive careful.
Well, it's now 1:30 in the morning. I'm just on my way back out to the county line for one last run. The snow let off about an hour ago, but I think it's done. I heard some of the boys say something about snowing in down there, so it might have started up again. I hope not. Just things are just starting to come good now. I don't want to have to start all over. So, fingers crossed that the snow's ended for the night. Finish this round and maybe get home. I had a half decent hour. I have a hard time sleeping through the day, so I'd like to try to get to bed as early as I can. Sleep till noon would be nice. But I have my doubts I can sleep that long, but you never know. So, yeah, just one last run out here to the county line, and go back and empty the truck and clean her up and head for the hills. I haven't been out here in a few hours, and doesn't look like anyone else has been either. There's not a tire track to be seen. There's probably another inch of snow on the road since I've been out, but yeah, it's a road less traveled, especially at night. I think I'll end this video here right now. I got a few miles to go before I'm back to the base and get her put away for the night. So I hope you enjoyed the video and stayed till the end. Hope I didn't bore you with my stories. I'm just trying to make it more interesting, because just sitting here watching the snow fly gets kind of boring after a while. But maybe listening to me is even more boring. I don't know. But anyways, trying to entertain, tell me if I do a good job. If you want me to keep my mouth shut, that's even easier than talking. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more great videos in the future. Good night.